Hello and welcome to this very special Celtic View podcast. I'm delighted to be joined on the podcast by our manager, Ange Postecoglou. Ange, now I know obviously that the dust has maybe settled since your appointment in the last few days, but already I know you've been hard at work. The latest thing that you're having to deal with and comment on is obviously our draw for the Champions League qualifier, FC Midtjylland, the Danish side. I suppose there's a level of excitement for you because you now know what your first competitive game as Celtic manager is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's obviously a pretty significant fixture for us, and it comes pretty early. So, that's exciting, not just for me, I guess, for the players and the whole club, and gives us a little bit of a target now the pre-season's about to start, and looking forward to it. It's those great nights in Europe are what Celtic are all about, and so hopefully we can create some more magic this year.
I was having a wee quick look at the FC Midtjylland squad. Eric Sviatchenko, who Celtic fans know from his time here, but Alwar Mabel, who's obviously an Australian internationalist. I'm guessing you'll know about him. He'll also know about you as well.
Yeah, no, very well. He's a fantastic young man and a great talent. He's been there for quite a while, and because of that, I know the club quite well. I've followed his progress and the club's progress. So it'll be great to see him again. As I said, he's a great young talent and a really fine young man too. And as you said, the Celtic supporters will welcome Big Eric as well. So it'll be a great fixture.
You talked about the European games. I'm guessing quite apart from anything else, you're just desperate to get up here, as you say, and start working with the players and really putting in the plans that you've already started into place for the new season.
Yeah, been hard at work already, and it's been great to connect with everyone at the club and sort of get to know everyone. I'm really keen on hitting the ground running and trying to get as much work done before I get there. But my own view is that we can't be more prepared than what we are at the moment in terms of the conditions we've had to face. But fully confident that once I hit the ground, we'll get started. And as I said, really excited about the fact that we've got something to look forward to and a bit of a target now over the next 4 or 5 weeks.
In terms of, as manager, and you'll have experienced that many times in terms of club and international football, when you start in a new role, I suppose you're just desperate to get to meet the players that you're going to be working with. They get to know you and really start doing what you're doing best on the training pitch and working with the guys.
Yeah, that's the key bit. Just for the players, staff, everyone at the club to get to know me and vice versa. It's a bit more of a challenge for me because I've got a lot more people to meet, whereas everyone else just has to meet me. But that's the first bit of any time I go into a new club or a new organisation is ultimately the people there have got to believe in me before they believe in any of my ideas. So as much as possible, I'm trying to get to, as I said, meet as many people before I get there. But once we're there, I'm sure the sense I get is that everyone's looking forward to it. It's a fresh start. It's a new beginning. And I think that when that happens, it gives me a chance anyway to sort of set a tone from the beginning.
Players are starting to come back, do some testing this week, but the real training starts when you get to Lennoxtown next week and you assemble the squad. And that's when we start focusing on pre-season. Now we've got these competitive games, the European tie at the start of the season to really aim for as well.
Yeah, I mean, the work's already started, to be fair. I mean, a lot of the lads, the staff back at the club, we've already putting plans in place. I'm talking to them daily, so they kind of know how I want us to work. So there's a lot of work being done already. And certainly even with the first few days when I'm not there, all the staff there are really keen to sort of set the new tone and the agenda that I've got. So I think the players will feel the difference straight away. But obviously for me, the real impact will come when I get there and I can sort of talk to people. And as you said, the target is that first game, Champions League game, but we've got a lot of work to do before that. We've got some fantastic friendly fixtures and warm-up games to prepare for that and training as well, which will be the key part for us.
Modern technology means that, you can immediately start working and you've been able to have loads of Zoom meetings. I'm guessing that once you're actually at Lennoxtown, if you never see another Zoom meeting in your life, you'll be delighted.
Mate, this year between Zoom meetings and homeschooling, if I never use technology again, I'll be a very happy man. I'm much better in person. So, but it's a necessity and we've all had to adjust our lives to it. And, for me, whilst it's not the ideal, still allows me to connect with people and still allows me to sort of get my ideas across of how I want us to work. And as I said, the lads back in Lennoxtown have been fantastic and receptive to that.
And in those first few days until you actually get here, as likes of John Kennedy and Gavin Strachan, will they, be important? You've obviously, as you said, already imparted your ideas of what you want in terms of training for the players and for them to...
Absolutely, yeah. Not just the coaching staff, John Curry and the medical team as well. I've been in constant contact with them. Constant contact with Dom as well, because obviously we've got a fair bit of work to do in bringing some players in. It's been non-stop. And like I said, everyone's been great, really receptive and understanding of sort of what I want us to do and direction I want us to take. So from that point of view, I'm really happy with the way things have progressed so far.
You already mentioned it's going to be a fresh start for everyone to, I suppose, to prove that they merit a place in your squad and your team. And I'm guessing from the players' point of view, that's the exciting thing for them. Yeah,
I mean, it's not necessarily to prove it to me. I think that as much when you've come out of a disappointing season, it's to prove it to themselves as well. The driver can't be to impress me. The driver's got to be that they want to take the club back to where it truly belongs and bring success to the club. That's the measure. They're not playing for me. They're playing for the Celtic Football Club and its supporters, and that'll be the message. They need to impress me. That what they need to do is show that they have a real desire to get the club back to where it rightly belongs. And once they show that, then automatically they would have impressed me and made sure that they made me understand that they're coming along for the ride.
Have you had a chance at all to speak to any of the players in the past week or so?
Just a couple. I've sent a couple of text messages, particularly to the boys in the Scotland squad, just to wish them all the best. Obviously, following their fortunes, it'd be great if they go deep into the tournament, even though it means I won't get to meet them for a while. Mainly to them. And as I said with the other players, I'm hoping to do it face-to-face. I think it's a better way to connect with them.
You suddenly become an interested Scotland supporter for the Euros. Obviously, they had a disappointing result on Monday, but I'm guessing you'll be watching the game against England.
No, I'm fully part of the Tartan Army for the next couple of weeks for sure.
It then means it gives you an opportunity just to see some of the boys in action. And again, as you mentioned, it's only once you start training with them that you can really see. But I suppose it's good for you in the short term.
Yeah, look, it's great to watch them play. I mean, I'm more than familiar with all the lads. I've sort of made sure I've researched everything, particularly last year's performances. But it's just great to watch them play because you feel a part of it. They represent Celtic Football Club as well as themselves and their country, and you take pride in that. So, as I said, I'm following it as much as a fan as I am as a manager, and I'm wishing them all the best, and hopefully they can make an impact, particularly against England in the next game. I think I'll cheer everyone up.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I'd noticed that, once your appointment as manager was announced, there was a tremendous reaction back in Australia across the whole of sport, not just football, to the appointment, which seemed to really excited everybody. That must have pleased you, the way that people responded to that.
Yeah, it's obviously quite a significant effect. I think, maybe people on this side of the world, in Europe underestimate just how popular and how well known a club like Celtic is. And, for a country like Australia, which has never been predominantly a major force in world football, to have, one of theirs as manager of such a famous football club, it sort of transcended all sport and even, in society, I guess it's a big deal. And it's great, I take great pride in that. From my perspective, I'm proud Australian. I was proud Greek. I was born in Greece as well, and it's made news there. So, I mean, that's fantastic. And as you said, I've had tremendous support from all over the globe, to be fair. People have been really kind, and hopefully I do them proud. I mean, I'm representing all sorts of people when I take on this position, and there'll be a lot of interest in Celtic back home in Australia and in Greece, I assume, particularly around the fixtures. So looking forward to hopefully taking them along for the ride as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think you mentioned it, that Celtic's already so well established in Australia. There's a big Celtic support there. We were speaking to Paul McStay, obviously a Celtic legend, who was delighted with your appointment. He knows very much what you've done in the game, and he was very enthusiastic about you coming to Celtic and being part of this journey that we're on now. Yeah,
very kind of him. I mean, he's a legend of the club. I remember him as a footballer. He was a fantastic footballer, and he's sort of made a life for himself in Australia. But while it seems that maybe from my perspective, as I said, people were totally aware about who I was and who I am. on that side of the world, they're very, very well aware of what Celtic Football Club means and the institution it is. And, there's plenty of Celtic fan clubs in and around Australia who, I'm sure will take great pride in the fact that, one of theirs will be leading the club.
Celtic fans near and far. Again, you touched on it earlier on, the fact that, you can't wait to be at Celtic Park to play any game in front of their fans, which I think we're all keeping our fingers crossed. I know when you were in Japan, there was obviously fans at the games. I think you see even in the Euros, the difference that fans make to the atmosphere, certainly for the players, but even, when you're watching a game.
I think that's one of the main sort of things we've learned over the last sort of 18 months is, football without fans, it lacks soul. I mean, that's what makes it magical because, to be fair, we've seen some fantastic football over the last 18 months, but it hasn't had that same unique feeling that it does when the fans, the most important people are in the stadium. So, I think players, managers, everyone will be so excited to get people back in. Sometimes as managers, that we often question whether we want the support there when things aren't going well, but you just realise how much you miss it when they're not there, because that's what gives you the adrenaline. That's what gives you the edge. That you want people there to share in the excitement, to share in the near misses. The good and the bad. You think you're part of something big when the supporters are there, and I guess for me that's the main sort of driver now. I can't wait to get to Celtic Park, and hopefully we see it as full as possible, and I get to live that special atmosphere that everyone talks about.
Well, listen, Andrew, it's been great to talk to you, and we can't wait to see you at Lennoxtown, and we're really looking forward to the season ahead with you in charge.
Likewise, thanks, Will.